Roger, absolute pleasure to meet you here. Thank you very much for coming on and giving this quick interview. Obviously, you were one of the main people that I obviously put the show about. So, can you tell us what you think the differences are now to when you used to do the show, the football show in the 90s? Media and such.
Well, so much has changed. I mean, how much time have you got to try and explain it all in just a few minutes? We're very different. I think the big difference was that when I was at Thames is that regional ITV was very different than it is now, and was very much a stronger force. We had a lot more resources. We used to make a lot more programmes, so therefore we had a role and an involvement in the North East. And if you're involved in the North East, then you've got to have plenty of sport. So I was very lucky to be able to do a huge amount of sports coverage, and especially football coverage. So, Thames or ITV Thames these days and BBC Look North, they give a good news coverage, but they don't have the opportunity to make those individual programmes that we did.
And do you think that's something that's missing now from the North East? I mean, I know we do it, but I think we're one of the only ones that actually have a Pacific show.
Well, yes, in some respects, but look, everything changes, everything moves on. I'm not one for this sort of like, oh, in my day. I hate the in my day business. So, we did what we did at the time, and everybody hopefully contributes a little bit as life goes along. North East football still has a very strong awareness, I think, but it would be nice. I just think not just football. It's a bit of a shame there isn't quite as much regional television as they used to, or regional radio as well, who also struggle to give quite that detailed coverage. We used to have Newcastle games were covered on Metro, they were covered on Century, they were covered a lot locally, so things just change. It's all about the cash these days.
That's all it's about. Do you obviously cover, see a lot of the Northern League, or is it more the bigger games that you cover?
Well, I only work a comparatively limited amount now, but the companies I work for, sadly, only have contracts for Premier League football. So I'm not actually reporting on Newcastle this season. I'm doing Sunderland and Middlesbrough and a bit of Hull City.
Somebody's got to
so that's a shame. That's one of the things that happens now, that the media world is so concentrated on the Premier League that if you drop out, then you drop down that pecking order. That's just one of the reasons why Newcastle can't afford to be out of it for any much more than one season, if that's possible.
And going forward, I mean, do you think that the YouTube generation and stuff that can go straight away? Yesterday, for example, I was watching 3 games live, and they were all on Facebook. I mean, what chance have we got to get the highlights in that show when you can get it initially straight away?
Well, look, that's just, I love all of this stuff. I really think it's absolutely brilliant, and the ability people have to communicate these days. The thing that made us different was that we were the only place you could see it, so therefore everybody watched us. So you got lots of people giving you a hard time, oh, you're just a Mackham, you're a Smoggy, and all of this stuff. But that was because you were the vehicle for communicating with people, whereas now it's so disparate, you've got absolutely everything. But I think it's fantastic that you can see loads of football. I just like watching football, Well,
we're the same here. But listen, I would love to invite you to the show and see if we can.
Well, go on then.
Well, get you on. We'll talk through everything you've done, your career and everything, and hopefully we can. I'm just going to get them now, shaking hands with us to come and do this.
Okay, no problem. You give me a call, I'll be there.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for
Good luck.
enjoy
And you too. Thank you.